All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Starladder Season 7. We're getting close to the latter portion of Day 23, and oh boy, do we have some good ones in store for you to finish it off. These are the mighty Alliance matches. First, we are going to have Alliance versus Navi to start off our last of two matches here, and then our final match will be Alliance versus Quantic. Again, that match that was rescheduled from, I believe, Thursday, and it will be a redraft, remake, completely redone, coming up after this match here. So, Alliance versus Navi. This is going to be absolutely huge, to say the least. Now, the first thing we need to mention before we get into this draft is there is a stand-in. Loda is terribly ill. Oh, no, he's got a fever, cough, stuffy nose. He's feeling all cloudy. He can't play Dota. He can't play competitive Dota today. So they've got a pretty close second. They've got Black as their stand-in here to go with the rest of the Alliance roster. So I'm Zyori. Joining me once again is Hippie. Buddy, what are your thoughts coming into this game here, Alliance versus Navi? I don't think that it's possible to overhype this match.
I don't think so either. I mean, we have a TI3 Grand Finals rematch. That alone is insane. But, you know, these are teams that they always bring something new to the table. They're always doing interesting stuff. I mean, Alliance, they kind of fell into a pattern, but you can never count out the idea that they'll have some weird-ass strat that they pull out. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, the Roshan bait that's now famous from back when they were no Tidehunter. Mm-hmm. The first time they actually did a 5-man TP to take Roshan. I mean, they had the super obvious, like, early Roche team. And it's just, oh, man. You know? And you have to ban so differently against them because you can't ban Bat and Wisp because you need to ban Naga and insert other hero here, like Chan or Prophet. It's insane.
Yep. So there will be scary heroes in the pool here, no doubt. Lifestealer and Darkseer are going to be taken off the field by Alliance, and Naga, Siren, and Furion are going to be taken off the field here by Navi to start things off. That's going to kick it over to Alliance for the first pick, and this is big. They're going to take the Wisp. They value the Wisp a little bit more than that Bat Rider, it would seem. We'll see how Navi counterpick here. I have very few doubts in my mind that they're going to grab the Bat Rider. I'm going to guess they're going to go with Bat Rider Rubik here, knowing that it's Navi with their Kuroki. And little aside here, you know, I actually saw No Tidehunter when they won the DreamHack Finals. Was it DreamHack winner that year? And I saw that at least one of the times they did that Roche bait and the baiting the Roche level 1. Oh, God, man. I wasn't even watching Dota 2 at the time, but that gave me the willies like you wouldn't believe.
They've done so many amazing, impressive things with just mind games. They are an absolute thrill to watch. I don't expect a Rubik pick right here, actually. I expect them to wait and see what else they see first. Right. But obviously the Bat Rider was pretty obvious. Yep. You could be right, though. I mean, they have Kuro. They can always get away with picking an early Rubik.
Mm-hmm. They tend to do it. And one of the reasons I think they may do it here is just because it's one of those picks where it's not a surprise. Everyone knows Kuro loves Rubik, but it doesn't matter. You know he's going to play it, but you still can't stop it. So I think if they don't pick him here, he's probably going to get banned out unless Alliance want to snag him. But all right, they're going to go a slightly different route. They are going to take Abaddon. Now, we haven't seen Abaddon in a little while here in Starladder Season 7. He's been first banned a couple of times, and teams have just been struggling to really work him into their rosters. So a little interesting to see Navi grab him so early on, given other teams have opted not to do that.
I'll tell you exactly why they did that, and that's because Abaddon, if he's right there when you try to lasso someone, will proceed to shield them, and the lasso will get removed.
Oh, it actually removes the I don't think I've actually seen someone do that. It actually removes the lasso, not just mitigates damage. It removes the... Oh,
it does.
God.
It removes... Like, you know how they, like, took away a bunch of stuff that it could remove in Han? That never happened in Dota. Abaddon is still awesome in Dota. And then you had that, like, that over nerf to Curse that nobody ever used.
He was a tubby piece of shit. He sucked. Oh, man. That is awesome. Okay, so you're right. Now I see why they grabbed the Abaddon. More of a prevention from the other team grabbing him here, of course, in case they wanted to...
He's still a good hero. I mean,
oh, yeah, absolutely right.
We didn't see him at all today is because Quantic first banned him every single game.
Exactly right.
Every time.
Exactly right. Quantic, they were actually, you're right. You're exactly right. They're the team that has thrown him into the first ban. And other teams, again, they've just had trouble working him in to their roster. We did see somebody experiment the other day. Was it Menace? It might have been Aspera, where they tried to do a Shadow Demon to counter the Bat Rider, where someone gets thrown in the lasso and then you disrupt them right away, so that mitigates some of the damage that comes out. It kind of worked, but obviously a photic shield going to be much more potent than a disruption. And of course here, Alliance going to grab Lone Druid to go with the Wisp. So a great first pick. A Lone Druid, a very popular ban against Alliance for good reason. So, you know, following the pretty standard thing. I watched that interview that Kuroki did with Epi, and they spent a good while breaking down Alliance, and this is pretty predictable with how they like to draft. They like to grab that offlaner first, grab their supports, what have you, and then almost always save that last pick for S4 so that he can have whatever he wants in the mid lane. And that tends to be how Alliance drafts, and that's exactly what they're doing here. They are going to take Bounty Hunter off the board as their third ban.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I mean, Alliance, I read a bunch of articles after TI3 on like how, on their drafting style, on how they ordered it, and on how their stuff is, and you know, they always pick up a Bulldog here very early, you're right, just so there's not too many ban outs from what, because basically they're not a team that runs their offlaner as someone who's like, okay, I'm just going to sit here and get some levels and then have like an average impact on the game. Bulldog is an impact player.
Yep.
And he's like, you know, whether it's on Lone Druid where he just gets super farmed and starts knocking down towers and killing everyone, or it's on Prophet where he just starts, you know, teleporting around the map, securing a bunch of kills, pushing towers. He is not someone who's content to just kind of sit back, get levels, and then do some initiations. So they need to get him a hero that he can have a good impact on.
Yeah.
And you can't, I mean, because of all the heroes you have to ban out, Navi, ever since TI3, first ban Naga Siren against EGM. Period. They have not diverted from that since Grand Finals. After they got completely shut down in, I believe it was Winners Finals. And just, you know, they got destroyed by the EGM Naga. It's insanely good.
Yep. It really is. I mean, we've seen Naga first pick, first ban. We've even seen Naga first picked over Bat Rider and over Wisp in some occasions. And for good reason. She just allows you to have that reset. And how do you counter it? You just can't. A good Naga, especially if she gets a blink or some other initiation tool, you can't stop her from using that ultimate. It's so powerful and just, it's sort of like Enigma. Well, Enigma's not the best example because you can counter that a little more easily. But I was going to say you have to counter it with positioning, and that's so much more difficult to do than saying I'm going to hit a button and try to counter this bad daddy. So some more bans are going to come out, though. Alliance going to go ahead and take Bane off the board to go with their Bounty Hunter. We're going to see Navi ban out Chen third, and now it's going to go over back to Navi here for their fourth ban. And we'll see what they want to take off the field. Sky's the limit at this point. Kind of hard to tell what both these teams are going to go for. They both kind of, I think, felt obligated to grab the Wisp Bat Rider first, and then they grabbed those kind of core heroes as we talked about. So both teams really still a lot of options for how they want their builds, their team comps, I should say, to start to unfold.
Yes. Oh, man. Neither team has picked their carries. They're not locked into picking, like, specific supports to go with them. I don't know if Navi is even going to try to ban out specific, like, Wisp combo heroes, just because Alliance is perfectly good at using him with a million different heroes.
Yep.
They might knock out the Chaos Knight, but at the same time, with the Chaos Knight, if he gets a particularly high stun, at least you have the Abaddon to remove it if he's nearby. There's some ways to deal with that. I would like to see Disruptor if Navi can get their hands on it, but then again, that leaves them kind of lacking on some control from their supports. So they'd have to make that up elsewhere, but Disruptor versus Wisp is always just can be very, very annoying. You know, Wisp ports in somewhere if Disruptor's nearby, glimpse the Wisp away, kill his partner.
That's exactly right. You are spot on with that. I want to say we saw that at least once earlier on, and I can't remember the time, but yeah, definitely Disruptor, a very undervalued pick, I think. It might have been you and I that were talking about it. We've seen him a time or two so far in Starladder Season 7, but really not so much. Juggernaut going to be the fourth ban from Navi. Not super surprised to see that. We have seen Alliance run that a few times. He does pair nicely with the Wisp, so that's an irritating hero to deal with. No doubt here. I had something else to say, but I totally lost it, though. That will finish off the bans. Oh, yeah, Chen going to get banned out, obviously. Ake's Chen. And they're going to grab Enchantress. So I don't know if that's... I look at that and say, okay, Chen banned out for Ake. Enchantress, Ake's second favorite, and they're just going to go ahead and pick it so he can't grab it. Is that along the right lines of logic there, you think?
To an extent, yeah, and also, I mean, Puppy would probably not ban Chen against anyone but Alliance. He'd just take it for himself. But I think you're right. They don't want to have the Enchantress as backup, and Puppy is pretty much just as happy playing Enchantress as he is playing Chen. So yeah, ban out the Chen, take the Enchantress as the denial, and also it means that there's, I mean, that's one fewer good jungler that Alliance can pick up to kind of get that extra farm around the map.
Yeah.
And Puppy, I mean, Puppy has some really sick control, just like Ake does.
Yep, that's absolutely right. Absolutely right. So we'll see what Alliance wants to do here. Both sides burning through that reserve time like crazy. Only a handful of seconds left apiece. And Keeper the Light going to be the third pick for Alliance right away. Oh, how do we forget about this big daddy? Navi going to be able to draft Outworld Devourer here as their fourth pick.
There's a million counters on the board, though, and they have a Lone Druid, too. So
that's exactly what I was like. So they're going to grab Outworld Devourer against a Lone Druid. We talked about there's really three heroes that hard counter Outworld Devourer. One's Kunkka. What's the other one? Obviously, Lone Druid's one. What's the one in the middle? Razor, that's it. Razor, the hard
Razor's
counter.
the best of it.
Yeah, Razor's
so easy to do it with. It's stupidly easy.
But even Lone
And
Druid
I mean,
already on the
Alliance could
field.
still draft Razor if they want to offlane the Druid.
That's true. That's very true. So this is funky.
Honestly, they may have picked up the OD just to risk it getting countered because they looked at it and they said, well, shit. If they pick OD, we're in serious trouble right here.
That's
Because
true.
you know what would they pick against it?
Razor.
5 seconds remaining.
Well, no, because if they pick anything else, the OD gets picked up by Alliance, and then they ban out Razor, and then what? You
Yeah.
pick up a Kunkka, but still, you know, then
No, you're kind of
you're
right.
still ending up with a much less good lane.
Yeah, so now Alliance going to go ahead and fourth pick Alchemist as we move into the final band's final pick section here. Alchemist, always a great hero. I love seeing him. I have to guess this is going to be that's Black's hero right there. Going to be the farming Alchemist with the Wisp Keeper of the Light duo. Is that what we're thinking here?
One would imagine, yeah.
One would imagine. That's a good way to put it. That's what we would think, but you never know. Curveballs could come out in a match like this. Again, you can't really overhype this match. TI1 champions versus TI3 champions. This is, I mean, some of the biggest names in Dota here going head to head. So, wow, all right, there it is. Navi gonna ban out the Kunkka. I can't believe they banned Kunkka over Razor.
Well,
in all honesty,
here's a question. You know, Alliance is not going aggressive trialing because they have a Wisp. Here's a mechanic I don't know. So if chat can answer me this, I'd appreciate it. Does Abaddon Shield purge static link? Because I don't know. It purges so much stuff.
That's a really good question. I don't think and since I've started casting again, I don't think I've seen that come up, where there's someone static linked and an Abaddon nearby that could shield. Yeah, someone in chat, please. That would be good. If that's true, then I can certainly understand why but no, it doesn't.
Story says it does not.
Someone
Okay.
says it doesn't. It's hard to say. We'd have to
I know
test it.
it pretty much nothing removes static link. I wasn't sure if Abaddon Shield was the one thing that broke that rule, but if it's not, then
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
I would have preferred a Razor ban.
Yeah, so all right, they're going to grab
Troll
Troll
Warlord.
Alliance
Interesting.
is turn to pick.
Actually, no, think about it. Not only, I mean, he's an okay carry in his own right, but you have two heroes who are dealing a crapload of damage through autocast orbs, both Enchantress and Outworld Devourer. Think about how fast they're going to rip through people in the mid game.
It's a good
Before
point.
BKBs come out on most of these Alliance heroes, especially if they can catch Alchemist. If Alchemist goes for an aggressive build or something, S4 is going to go Magnus. All right.
All right. I can get behind the Magnus pick. Always love seeing a good Magnetar. So, wow, interesting. Den D going to be playing the OD here. So, is this going to be an OD versus Magnus mid? That's going to be a little spicy as well. A little spicy burrito there for our mid game.
Should be a good time. I mean, you know, just Magnus can do so much good setup, and he actually works really nicely with Wisp. Wisp can drop him right into position for a good ultimate, for a good skewer. If you're really, really clutch with your timings, there was the old Fountain Hook thing that is getting removed as of tomorrow.
Yep.
Fountain Skewer still works. It's just a much more difficult timing. You have to do it with either Wisp or Coddle or Chen, theoretically. You have to get sent back mid-Skewer, and they'll come with you, because they are bound to your hero at that point. They're attached to you.
That's some next level shit right there. If they pull that off.
I don't think it's going to happen,
But
it's
you're right. There is
doable.
potential, though. Between the Wisp and the Coddle, they could do it. It's a possibility in this match. Important thing to
in
note.
general,
Yeah.
their map mobility is insanely good. Between the Wisp being able to take anyone anywhere and the Coddle being able to bring anyone anywhere,
Yeah.
it's going to be very, very hard to catch people out of position and not have some sort of response coming in from Alliance.
Yeah, exactly right. So we will see kind of a four-man train from Alliance come out in the dire jungle here. And uh-oh, are they going to bump into the Bat Rider? Bat Rider going to have Firefly on already. Oh, playing with fire, literally, but also metaphorically there. So let's go ahead in the bottom lane. Let's see who's doing what. On the side of Navi, they're going to be playing the Radiant. Havos doing a little bit of dancing on the Troll Warlord there as he switches stances for us. He's going to be a farming Troll Warlord, starting off in the bottom lane. Kuroki going to be playing on the Abaddon here. Looks like he'll be headed down to that bottom lane as well. Puppy going to be on the Enchantress, obviously going to be in the jungle. Funnick here going to be the one on the Bat Rider, and I think he's pretty obviously going to be jungling too. Navi going with the slightly more greedy build. They're going to sack the off lane, and it looks like Enchantress and Bat Rider will be sharing the jungle, perhaps. Funnick headed up top at the moment, maybe looking for perhaps a rune spawn here at the 0-0 mark, but I think there's no way he's going to be able to offlane. He's going to scout it out. It will be an illusion that spawns in the top rune, and I think Ake may come over here and pick this bad daddy up. Yep, exactly, and Funnet can head back into the jungle here. So that means in the mid, last but not least here for Navi, that will be Dendi playing on the Outworld Devourer. Now on the dire side of the map, of course, we do have our TI3 champions, Team Alliance. In the bottom lane, they're going to have an off-lane Lone Druid being played by Admiral Bulldog. Shouldn't be a surprise at all. Uh-oh, in the mid already, Dendi going to get harassed a little bit. Ake going to be playing on the Keeper of the Light. He is going to migrate his way to this mid lane to already poke back this Outworld Devourer. Of course, he does have a couple of illusions here from that early rune spawn, so that is going to give him a little bit of an edge. S4 going to be the one playing the Magnus here in the mid lane. He's going to have an easy time farming, again, thanks to the support here from Ake, which he can do just fine. It may even be a duo lane mid for a little while, as the long lane is completely sacked. So up in the top, we do have EGM playing the Wisp. He's going to stack and pull and do all that great stuff. And then, of course, the stand-in for Alliance in place of Loda himself will be LGD International's Black, the player known for his immense farming abilities, and he's going to be off to a good start here. He's going to be all by himself in the top lane on that Alchemist in free farm heaven. So interesting lanes perspiring here. I like the idea to move the Keeper of the Light from Navi, from Alliance, kind of into that mid lane, have him be a little bit more mobile to start things off, just to try to get S4 a little bit of an edge, because, you know, obviously OD is an opponent to be reckoned with in the mid lane.
Absolutely, but at the same time, we see the Hellbear Smasher coming from Puppy, actually, which, you know, this actually might be a dead S4. He's going to get slowed down very, very quickly. The auto attack's coming in from OD as he starts to chase him behind the tower, but the creep block ruins it.
Puppy almost with the big play. He had the creep, they had the slow, and he got blocked right as he got... Oh, that was painful to see. That really should have been a first blood for Navi. That was one of those seems like a really minor misplay, but on a level like that, if Dendi had gotten the first blood kill on S4, that would have totally shifted the momentum of the mid lane. That is definitely one of those... Definitely should have been a kill there, I think it is safe to say. So anyway, S4 is still going to be struggling a bit though. 6-9 Dendi last hit score here, and S4 is 2-3 on the Magnus right now. So kind of what we would expect, I think. OD getting the better of him. But Outworld Devourer going to migrate top. He's going to grab a double damage rune here at the 2-minute mark. And, well, he's going to press forward a little bit, so he's going to get even more last hits here to... well, just to add to the rotation, I guess. Double damage on OD at the 2-minute mark. There's a little bit of luck going in favor of Dendi here, but still getting some great farm nonetheless. All the while on the bottom lane here, whoa, they are getting aggressive on the bear. Admiral Bulldog back near the tier 2 tower. Puppy, Kuroki, and Havost all grouped up here in the bottom lane, and they're going to shove into that tower. Looks like they may try to kill the bear. It's going to get initiated on by the troll, going to use an ensnare to start it off. They're going to keep poking away, and that spirit bear is going to go down. That's going to be a nice 300 gold bounty going the way of Havost. Holy Toledo, that's a big chunk of gold right there. That's going to push him ahead of the Alchemist on the net worth chart.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly what they need, and it's a good way to deal with that Admiral Bulldog bear. They have a team that can actually go through, and we already see the Coddle rotating bottom because Bulldog's thinking, oh crap, I actually can't get any farm down here. They're going to push this out really hard. The shield from the Abaddon making everyone so tanky. Oh, Puppy taking a lot of damage from that tower. Had to drop the aggro. Good heals coming in from Kuroki, though, to make sure that he did not go down. Still, these nukes from Coddle should push them out very quickly, and Puppy almost going down to that Illuminate Blast right there.
Yeah, that was a close one. About 40 hit points to spare or so, but you're right, between the Wisps as well as the Death Coil and the Aphotic Shield, they're doing pretty well. They got that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane down below half health, already down to 2/3 or so, and as you mentioned, Ake on the Keeper of the Light is going to rotate down to the bottom lane, try and support Admiral Bulldog. Let's take a look at last hits, and the Lone Druid, he's only 5-2 against the 18-0.
4-minute Midas.
Yeah, jeez. Oh, no. So, that is on the Alchemist up top. Black can have the fastest Midas you can get, I think, because of course he is level 3 Greevil's Greed right now, sitting on level 5. He has a Healing Psalm and a Hand of Midas. I honestly don't think you can get it faster than that. So that is already...
Yeah, he didn't, I think he literally only bought a salve at start of game because he knew the lane against him was going to get thrown.
Yep. So, and especially with the Alchemist getting that little bit of bonus gold from the Greevil's Greed, that literally is about as fast as it gets. So that's going to be, I think, a bad omen is a good way to put it for Navi, because Black is a player with a reputation for he knows how to farm, and Alchemist is a hero that knows how to farm, and of course, with Hand of Midas, the earlier you get it, the earlier the investment pays off. So, and once you get closer and closer to that, like the fastest possible Midas timing, the closer you're getting to just snowballing out of control. So this is definitely good news for Alliance. On the Radiant side, do we have a Midas carrier here? I don't think we do. So that's going to be a dichotomy right there. it's going to be Midas versus no Midas. So that's going to put some pressure on Navi to be a little more aggressive here, because all else equal, if they let Black continue to freeform, no doubt about it, he'll take over the game. So,
well, I think the Troll Warlord with the Enchantress and the OD and everything, these are very mid-game picks. I mean, Havos going to be diving a little bit, just trying to make sure the tower didn't get denied, I think.
But S4 in the mid lane, Puppey going to come in. He's going to initiate with the Dark Troll Summoner. That's going to be first blood for Dendy. He didn't get it the first time, but Puppey going to come through for him, and they'll make it happen. So just a bit too much for him to handle. OD is level 6, did burn the Sanity's Eclipse, and they finish off the Magna. So that's going to make it 1-0 here just about the 6-minute mark. And we did see Navi grab that tier 1 tower in the bottom lane, as you mentioned, forcing the Admiral Bulldog back so that he couldn't deny the tower, and that is going to be great news for Navi. If we look at that gold graph, already a nice 2,000 gold lead set up for themselves. Not so much on the experience chart, only about 250 or so, something very negligible, but a nice gold lead going to allow them to get those early core items, the boots, your null talismans, your bracers, your magic wands, wards, what have you. Getting that early tower kill, also great for the support, it's important to mention, and that might give a little ward coverage edge to Navi, but yeah, definitely good news for Dendy, at least, to see him get that first blood.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's going to accelerate their timing a little bit, especially with the tower gold, because they want to definitely hit a mid-game stride that prevents... If you try to go late game against Alchemist and Lone Druid with a Troll and an OD, you're nuts.
Yeah.
So... They're definitely going to be, I mean, they want to put on the early aggression with the Enchantress. They want to use the power of those orbs. S4 going to initiate it on again. Looks like the Enchantress slow is going to be enough, along with that sticky napalm and auto attacks from Dendy, to bring him down. So that is a kill now. A second kill on S4. He is the only 2 deaths in the game, and it does go to Puppey.
Oh, no. So this is getting really rough. The other great thing about that kill from the Navi perspective, Bat Rider got the assist gold, and right now he is on Boots of Speed, 1 Iron Branch, and he's got just about 2,000 gold in the bank, also level 6. So right now, Funnick hitting that timing where he's just been hard farming, completely unchecked, and he's going to have a blink right around the time he hits level 6. He's already level 6, and now just 50 gold off the blink. That's nice and early. We're talking about like an 8-minute blink dagger here for the Bat Rider, and that should be your biggest fear when going up against a Bat Rider. So if Navi is trying to hit that mid-game stride, as you so succinctly put it, I think they're well on their way to achieve that goal with flying colors here. So Alliance going to have to be careful. Navi's Dendy taking a lot of... I always confuse Navi and Dendy. I use those words interchangeably sometimes. I know they're very different. I know one's a player, one's a team, but sometimes you'll hear me say, oh, buyback from Navi. Wait, I meant Dendy. They're just too similar in phonetic phrases. So anyway, Dendy getting low, he is going to survive just fine. Already has the buckler, so going to be getting close to that mech. Does have the recipe in the bank, and going to be working towards that headdress as well. Let's take a look at the net worth chart, though. Alchemist, as he should be, #1 on the chart, leading by about 800 gold right now over that Troll Warlord. He's at about 4.8k, 4.8k, not 8 gay, 4.8k, and we'll see the Troll at just about 4k himself. Dendy trailing slightly behind that at about 3.8k on the net worth chart. But Magnus, he's going to get pushed back again here. Kuroki, well, showing him who's the boss, I guess you could say. In the bottom lane, though, Admiral Bulldog struggling so much. Only about 1.5k on the net worth chart. He's about to lose his second tower down in the bottom. The tier 2 does fall. Puppey going to be able to grab that last hit. Nicely done. Not going to get denied. That's going to make the tower count now 2-0. Again, Navi completely on track for this. Ake going to be in big trouble, though. Funnick going to come around the side. That's going to be an easy Lasso Firefly combo. That's going to make it 4-0 here as, whoa, Outworld Devourer going to be able to get a solo kill as well as he finishes off the Wisp. Dendy with a double damage on. It's looking rough for Alliance. Navi in just great form here. They're completely taking control of this game here at the 9-minute mark, already leading by about 5,000 gold.
Yeah, absolutely. And just with as fast as he got that Midas, Black still, he's got Midas phase boots, he's still got 2,200 gold on top of that. So he's getting a crap load of gold, but he doesn't have what he needs to keep fighting. And there goes S4 as well to a 4-man dive in the mid lane.
Yeah, exactly right. 4 men dive in that tier 1 tower, and now they're going to be able to get a tower kill. It's soon going to be 3-0. There's no glyph available. I don't think much support is going to come its way. Keeper of the Light going to come over. Level 2, Pony's going to come out. The Illuminate, of course, is what I mean by ponies, and he's going to try to repel him, but not going to be much. That's going to be into that tower. OD going to be able to grab the last hit on that one. So again, 3-0 in total tower counts now. Really the saving grace right now on the net worth chart, it's the Alchemist. Look at that net worth chart. Alchemist is #1. The next 4 are all on Navi. Aside from Alchemist, Alliance are in big trouble. So what's Black going for? Well, he's got the Midas still, phase boots, and another 3k gold in the bank. Probably going to be working towards that Shadow Blade first. That's going to be my best guess, but this is a scary precedent here that Alliance is setting for themselves. They're putting a lot of faith on the shoulders of their stand-in, and I don't know. This is rough. Navi really in a commanding position. I mean, having 4 of the top 5 net worth slots at any point in the game is scary, but at the 10-minute mark already, I think that sums up how this match is going pretty well. Puppy going to get engaged on here, and Stable Concoction going to come his way. He does have the Wisps on. And uh-oh, EO going to get caught by the lasso. He's going to get dragged to the high ground. Wisp going to be stuck in the high ground. Nowhere for him to go. Relocate, not going to be an option. Down he goes. That's going to be 6-0 here at the 10.5-minute mark. Bat Rider going to be able to grab that kill. Now Alliance trying to head through the dire jungle. They're in full retreat mode here. The bear going to fall again. That's going to be 300 gold, I think, going into the inventory of Dendy there. We'll see Magnus get caught in another Astral Imprisonment. Outworld Devourer is lining it up. Oh no, S4 going to be in big trouble. The Centaur drops the stun. He gets caught by a nice flame break. Down he goes. Make that 7-0 here as we approach the 11-minute mark. Again, Navi continuing to pressure in this match. They have control, and there's no sign of them letting up as they move about the dire jungle.
Yeah, there's the fact that now they're just rotating. They've got the mid-game items they wanted. They have the mech on the OD. The Troll has his lifesteal and his phase boots. And they have the Urn on the Abaddon, the Blink on the Bat Rider. So now they just want to rotate around, kill everyone they see, and take all their towers. So now, basically, before either Lone Druid or Alchemist can get out of control, what they want to do is just deny all sorts of map control to this Alliance team. They're going to make sure the lanes aren't safe to farm, make sure hopefully they ward up the jungle, do some counter warding so Alliance doesn't feel comfortable. Because the longer Alliance gets to farm, the worse this does get for Navi. So the more pressure they can put on right now and slow that down, the better they're going to do.
Yeah,
obviously.
And poor S4, and it's always a bad sign when S4 gets shut down because he is generally a driving force in Team Alliance. He's there, you know, he's just that cohesive piece. He floats around the lanes, and he tends to be a less greedy mid player. You know, as people say, Dendy, Mushi are very flashy mid players, and S4 is one who's not afraid to sacrifice himself for the betterment of the team. And it's sort of a different take on that mid lane. And when he gets shut down like that, that's sort of there's a morale blow to Alliance, but also, you know, your leader is just not farmed. Magnus needs that blink. He's one of those heroes that transforms into a different force once he grabs that blink dagger, kind of like an Earthshaker is with that initiation, and he just doesn't have it here. He's on gray boots, absolutely no farm. They are going to be able to get a kill on Dendy though. A nice smoke coming out from Alliance. They do get their first kill on the board. Keeper of the Light actually going to be the one to grab that last hit, so that is a good sign for Alliance, but I think a scary sign is on the net worth chart. Troll Warlord's actually taken over as the #1 farmer. He's surpassed Alchemist by just a handful of creep kills here, but that, again, that's still just a scary omen that you've got this free farming Alchemist. He's yet to die. He's been basically in complete free farm mode, and now you're going to see the Troll, who's had a great game as well, start to overtake him. So a great kill on Dendy, but so far it well, not going to be too significant here. Still a nice 9,000 gold lead, 3,000 gold advantage in favor of Navi. And whoa, look at this. Troll Warlord going to move straight into the Roche Pit. And I think he's going to be able to do it. He's got the Helm of the Dominator. He's got the Yasha. He's got his little Alpha Wolf buddy there. Going to give him the nice battle, what is it, Pack Leader's Aura. That's it, so 30% extra damage. Havo's going to be able to take an easy solo Roshan here at the 13-minute mark.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a testament to how little vision and how little control Alliance feels they have over their side of the map.
They've got one ward down, and it's actually not far from the
nowhere
Roche
near
Pit.
the Roshan. Well, it's not close enough to actually spot him going in, though.
No,
That's
exactly.
the big deal.
Yep. No, I'm exactly right about that. So, but again, that speaks. They only have one ward down, and right now you see Navi. They've got at least, well, they only have one ward down as well, but it is in a much more aggressive position in the middle of the dire jungle there. So that is going to give them just a bit more map control. But so scary to see Troll just soloing Roche like that. He's now got 1,200 gold, going to have the Aegis of the Immortal. That's going to further that gold lead. Havos going to get engaged on here, going to take an unstable concoction to the face, but not going to be enough to follow up a kill. He does back up in time, and Alliance not going to poke too far out of their quote-unquote safe jungle to pick up a kill on Havos. Of course, he does have the Aegis as well, so we'll see. Right now, the Troll Warlord just pressuring that tier 2 tower in the mid, but we're going to see an engage. EGM on the EO, going to get caught by another Lasso Firefly combo. Down he goes. Abaddon going to be able to grab that last hit, but now it's going to be 8-1 here as we cross that 14-minute mark. Now it looks like Navi just going to clear out the dire jungle, and they are going to rotate towards the mid lane, and not too many outer towers remaining for Alliance. The tower count now is 4-0 in favor of Navi, and it may be 5-0 momentarily here. They're going to press forward, and look at this Alliance just on the complete defensive. They see the sign of Navi as 5, and they just head for the hills. They're going to back up. They're going to try to poke a little bit. Shockwaves coming out from the Magnus. Glyph going to be used. We saw Troll use that battle trance, so this tower just gets obliterated. Down it goes. That's going to be 5-0 now in the tower score in favor of Navi as we approach the 15-minute mark. We, 10 minutes ago, we talked about this mid-game timing that Navi needs to hit. I think it's safe to say, man, they hit this timing pretty much spot on.
Man, I was just thinking that. I was saying, we said they had a mid-game window. Look at how wide open it is right here.
Yeah.
I mean, look at... I think the choice of Yasha on Havost is really telling of what's going on. He feels so incredibly comfortable with what's going on. He says, BKB, man, I don't need no BKB. I can just go straight aggressive. You guys can't do anything to me.
Yeah. And that's really the way it seems in this match. Now let's look at Admiral Bulldog. We haven't seen the bear. Oh, is he getting initiated on? Speak of the devil. Down he goes. Won't get to see what's in the inventory of the bear, but he is going to be caught by the Bat Rider. That's all it takes right there. Level 11 Bat Rider now with the level 2 lasso. Also has the Force Staff as well. That's when Bat Rider really gets scary. Now there's going to be a response to try and play with the Bat Rider. S4 and the Wisp going to come down. All the while, the rest of Navi going to take out the last remaining Tier 2 tower and just push into that Tier 3 in the top lane. The mech is going to be used as they do strive forward and try and pressure this Tier 3 tower. S4 going to put an Astral Imprisonment. He's going to get dropped in a matter of seconds. Down he goes. Dendy still with the Sanity's Eclipse up. This Tier 3 tower going to be under heavy pressure. The Troll Warlord's ult not going to be up quite yet, but still, this tower going to take a lot of damage. The lasso going to be up again. Now they're going to grab Black, and that's going to be the first kill of the match onto Black. I think this is going to be a quick GG. Alliance in big trouble here. It's 11-1 at the 16-minute mark. Right now, Navi is knocking on their front doors. They just obliterated their one saving grace, their top farmer, the only one farming well. Navi now with, well, still, all right, Abaddon still isn't in that top 5, but still 4 of the top 5 farmers in this game, and now with Alchemist dead, it's just not enough. Alchemist can farm, he can take over the game, but he needs time for it to happen. Here at the 16-minute mark, you can't hope for better farm than a Shadow Blade, Phase Boots, and Hand of Midas. It's just not going to be enough to repel the pushing power that Navi has with this mid-game oriented roster. Here we're going to see them continue to press forward. Alliance continuing to poke at them. We do see Illuminate doing a nice bit of damage here. The Shockwave's helping as well. That Tier 3 tower will survive with about 350 hit points to spare. Troll Warlord was in the front lines. He still has the Aegis in the inventory. That's what I was looking for there. But look at this. They're just going to be able to back up, rinse and repeat, or reset, and then rinse and repeat. There it is. Abaddon as well as the Enchantress proving to have so much healing right here. Look at this. Navi's sustain at the front door of Alliance. Absolutely incredible. I think they are going to be forced back here, though, as all 5 members of Alliance are still alive. Or are they? They're still going to hang out there. We're watching Dendy here just go toe-to-toe with this siege creep, and everyone just sitting back. So I don't know. We'll see. Looks like Navi want to go back in here. They have it. I mean, everyone at pretty decent health, so they're going to go back in. This Tier 3 tower going to fall very quickly. There is no glyph available. Uh-oh, EGM going to get force staffed out. Down he goes. Nicely played by Funnick right there. And now the real engage going to start. In comes S4. He's going to skewer in. He is going to use the RP. Not enough follow-up damage. Still no one on Navi down. Wisp going to fall. Keeper the Light dies. He buys back. Magnus now finally goes down. Black trying to make something happen. He's going to drop a stun on the Troll Warlord, but I think Black very well may fall right here. Nope, going to be able to use that Shadow Blade to get away. Oh, no, perhaps not. They've got a gem of some sort. Yes, they do. Bat Rider going to have a gem in the inventory. That's still going to be all 5 members of Navi alive, and they're basically just diving the well right here. Look at Dendy. He's so far forward. Going to be able to finish off the Keeper of the Light. Admiral Bulldog going to have 50 hit points to spare. Yeah, he's going to get scraped up by the Troll, and Alliance just going to get completely wiped right here. Alchemist is going to buy back, but it is a 4v1 on the field. And Black might be able to buy a little bit of time. S4, he's going to pop back up. I'm not sure if that was a buyback or if he just popped up. Nope, not going to be a buyback. So still a noble effort from Alliance, but I think it's safe to say Navi getting the better of that team fight. 18-2 here at the 18.5-minute mark. And, oh, of course, Alliance losing their top lane of racks. Towers down, melee racks down, and the ranged racks going to start taking a little bit of pressure. Navi might not want to press their luck here. Most of the members of Alliance are back alive now. It is actually a 5v4 with Dendy dead, and they will back up, so that ranged racks will survive. But, whoa, Navi with one hell of a push right there.
It is 18-2. They got 1 kill in that entire sequence. Dendy sitting by the well. Havost pretty much diving the well. 1 kill on Dendy. It was ridiculous. And, you know, honestly, some people I think are going to say, even though it really doesn't make any sense, they're going to say, oh, well, you know, they had Black standing in. They didn't have Loda. That's why they got stomped. No, absolutely not. Every lane that Black wasn't in got destroyed. Black did exactly his job. He got insane farm. The Alchemist was doing perfectly. You were saying, you know, you need to buy time for the Alchemist. They actually really, if they hadn't fed every other lane, they bought time for the Alchemist. He was farmed when Navi started coming to fight him. The problem was they were so overfarmed from killing everybody else.
Yeah, no, you hit the nail on the head. People are inevitably going to say that about it not being Loda, and I guess you could make an argument for maybe they picked Alchemist and they wouldn't have if it was Loda. They wanted it for Black. There's all sorts of cases you can make, but in the context of this game, this draft, I don't think Loda would have made much of a difference. I mean, unless Loda could pull a Roshan Aegis out of his ass or find a bucket of gold on the ground. I mean, I don't know what else he could have done. Like you said, Black couldn't have done anything better in the top lane. He had absolute complete free farm. He doesn't only have level 3 Greevil's Greed. Maybe you could say he should have gone 4 points into that. But, I mean, we're splitting hairs here. There's really not much else he could have done. Overall, Alliance just as a roster here, the big focal point, I think, was shutting down S4. He was the first 2 kills of the game. We had a 5-minute first blood, and S4 was the one that they knew that he'd be going up against an OD most likely. And Magnus versus Outworld Devourer, I think we know now who wins that matchup, and it is OD handily. And I think that mid lane is really what sort of set the precedent for this match to be so out of control. Also, the great support they did in the bottom lane, shutting down Admiral Bulldog. I mean, Navi, they just played great. They had a response for everything Alliance was going to throw their way. And, you know, that's why they've got this crazy roster here. Funnick going to blink over. He's going to grab the Wisp, going to force staff down. An easy kill for Navi. Nothing the poor Wisp could do. I mean, I don't know. It still boggles my mind when we see teams taking a allowing the other team to pick up a Bat Rider. We have to remember that Alliance allowed Navi the Bat Rider here because they first picked Wisp. So knowing that, and knowing that they're, well, after seeing the lanes, they know Bat Rider is going to be in the jungle. You have to try to find a way to slow him down. You have to try to pressure him. You can't just let Bat Rider sit there and get that level 6 Blink Dagger at the what, 8-minute mark, 9-minute blink.
They picked such a passive lineup.
Yeah, you can't do that.
All things considered, they didn't really have any way to gank until the Wisp was 6. Period.
Yeah.
Or until the Mag was like really farmed. And by the time either of those things happened, Bat has his Blink Dagger already.
Yeah.
But when they first put the Coddle in mid, I was like, oh, they're going to dual mid against the OD. That's something we keep not mentioning, is that if you just dual mid an OD, he loses basically by default. He can't handle 2 people.
Right, he's not that good. He's
and then
strong,
he
but he's not that good.
He just left, and I don't know why.
It's sort of like he was like, all right, so I'm here. All right, looks like you got it under control. All right, I'll see you later. I think they need my help in another lane. You're exactly right. And I noticed that when we started out. I said, all right, he's got the illusion rune already. We're going to see OD harassed back. That'll open up a little window of opportunity here for S4. And yeah, right as things started to seem to be going okay for S4, Coddle left. He got killed. And then we just saw that downward spiral. So, yeah, that's a good thing to mention. 19-2 here at the 22-minute mark between Navi and Alliance. Needless to say, Navi with a staggering lead here. 20,000 gold, about 18,000 experience. They did take out that top lane of Rax. Tower count now 7-0. Alliance not even able to take out a single tower. Oh, yeah, I wanted to see what the bear was doing. All right, Admiral Bulldog, he does have a Sacred Relic on the bear, so he's going for Radiance first here. He's still trying to get it. He has the Relic, and meanwhile, his team trying to defend in the top lane. Ake, get a fall. Down he goes. Enchantress going to be able to drive a double kill as Keeper of the Light as well as EO both going to get taken out, those squishy supports, and now it's just going to be a field day in the base of Alliance. Savos in the bottom lane trying to chip away at that bottom tier 3. The Glyph is going to come out from Alliance. The bear, how close is he to Radiance? He's still only halfway to the recipe, so this game might end before the Radiance even comes out. Again, that's one of the problems with the Lone Druid. He's a great hero, he's so scary, but he needs that farming room. If you're this aggressive so early on, you don't even allow him that little bit of breathing room to get that first round of core items, he's just a dude with a bear. And I know bears are scary, but, I mean, it's really the bear with the items that's scary, not just the bear himself. So, yeah, I don't know. Not much else to say at this moment. Navi still just knocking on the doors of Alliance.
And it's still, you know, it's hard for them to push uphill. But, like, think about this. They're about to take a second set of Raxes at 24 minutes against Keeper of the Light.
Yeah.
Which is the only reason it took them so long. Oh, very, very nice setup there from S4. Oh.
Big RP, bigger Sanity's Eclipse to follow up. Dendi going to walk away with 2 kills. Magnus and Black both going to fall. Magnus going to buy back right away. Black playing the Alchemist, not going to have a buyback. That's it. Lone Druid going to fall. So will the Wisp, and that's it. GG, well played. 24 minutes, 26-2. Navi going to obliterate Alliance. And I think that might be an understatement. If there's a word more powerful than obliterate, I mean, Navi just in great form. Some of that came down to the draft. We talked about it throughout that match, the way the laning phase went, the way the OD was not shut down. Alliance, they just didn't have the skills to pay the bills in this matchup. I don't know what else there is to say about it. Still surprised, though, that Navi took it 26-2. Another one of these matches where I thought this would have been a little bit more even. You know, I thought this would, of all the matches today, this one would not end before the 30-minute mark.
This was not one you expected to see a stomp in, but it wasn't like it was like, oh man, you know, this is just a team. It's kind of depressing. They're obviously not on the same level. This was just Navi just playing like out of their minds good. Like, I mean, first of all, I think one of the absolute biggest things, and I mentioned it in the early game, you mentioned it again when they were pushing base, how effectively they shut down Admiral Bulldog. Because even from like the 2-minute mark, with that Enchantress going in with the creeps to help tank tower, with the Abaddon heals, the Abaddon shield to make sure they can just zone Bulldog out. Because, you know, usually you can get a little bit of farm and XP on that Lone Druid no matter what by just pulling around with your bear. Not so, because they were just perfectly happy to dive behind that tower and fight him between towers. And once they were there, he just had nothing. All game long, he had nothing. It was really, really excellent.